All right, so this is where we have CGR, Kingpin, and Kitty Pryde bans. Just a quick thing before we get into this, if you are new to my videos or if you just need a reminder, I'm only going to list a couple counters for every node. I cannot go further into that. It would be a long video sitting here listing every single counter for every node. I just try to hit 2 and then move on to the next one. So having said that, Boss Island here, we have an Apocalypse Boss, Scorpion, and Diablo, probably your top options. Punisher back there, you can still use S99. You can also use Doom. Absman there, Reed, Scorpion, Doom over there. You've got Magneto and Apocalypse, max pacify with Magneto. Hulkling there, you can go with Rintrah or Wiccan, or you can use Dragon Man or Diablo. Sasquatch there, S99, your best. Human Torch as well. Korg, Omega Red, since Kitty Pryde's banned. That's pretty much your only one. You could use Rolk as well. And then Gore, Diablo, and Scorp are probably your top 2 with that subdue tactic. 1 through 3 on the way out thing, you can use Apocalypse Gallon or Void, Path 1, Cersei, any of those mystic subdue options, such as Diablo or Dragon Man, but you can also use Wiccan or Rintrah. And then for Weapon X, Nimrod or Omega Sentinel. Path 2, the whole thing with Mole Man or the whole thing with Fury. And then Path 3, the whole thing with Nebula or the whole thing with Corvus, taking off willpower against Warlock. All right, 4 through 6 on the way out, Nova, you've got Doom, you've got Magneto. On the way in, Null, you've got Diablo, you've got Absman. Path 4 there, Havoc, you've got Warlock, and you've got Ultron, and you've got G99. And then for Scarlet Witch, either go with a non-crit champ or a poison immune champ. So tactic-wise, you got Overseer, and then no crit, just hidden to block G99 or Guardian. Path 5 there, Kitty Pryde, Omega Sentinel or Nimrod, and then Atuma, Havoc, or Apocalypse. Path 6 for Bishop, War Machine, or Infamous Doom. And then for Mantis, really anyone, just don't rely on stuns. Doom will do just fine, so will Apocalypse. 7 through 9 on the way out, Toad, you've got Nimrod, and technically Infamous Doom. On the way in, Infamous Doom, you can use Hulkling or you can use Thing. Path 7, Nimrod or Omega Sentinel for Domino, and then for Terrax, you could use Absorbing Man or you can use Diablo. Some subdue Mystic with the tactic will be fine. Path 8 there, whole thing with Diablo or the whole thing with Dragon Man. Path 9 there for Shang-Chi, or sorry, not Shang-Chi, for Void. Jabari Panther could probably take the whole path, but you could use Thing for Void or Absman for Void, and then for Wiccan, you could use Omega Red. 1 through 3 in Section 2 on the way in, Fury, you could use Gallon as the tactic and Nullify Immune, or you can go ahead and use Omega Red or Apocalypse. For Penny there, Gallon probably your best. You could get away with Herc and the Gallon pre-fight. Maw there, Human Torch or Rolk. 1 through 3 in Section 1 on the way out, Valkyrie. Omega Red, probably your best option. I'm sure Apocalypse still works too. Path 1, Killmonger, Apocalypse, and Omega Red. Path 2, Spidey Supreme, Titania, or S99. And then Path 3, all Gallon or all Hulkling. And then paths 4 through 6 on the way out, Mr. Negative, really anyone. Fury, Shang-Chi, use a white Magneto pre-fight to help. Spot, you've got Fury or Blade. On path 5, you could use Quicksilver if someone's comfortable with that, or you can split it up and use Quicksilver for Chavez, or use Overseer for Chavez, and then use Herc for Suri. And then path 6, just use a poison immune, Nimrod, Nebula, good options. 7 through 9 on the way out, spam. You can use Falcon or you can use Rolk. Path 7 there, Kingpin, Omega Red, or Apocalypse. And then for Rintra, you could use Omega Red or Apocalypse still, or Human Torch if that makes you feel more comfortable. And then path 8, Arcus, you could use Absorbing Man or Doom, or either any of the Subdue Mystic options, so Dragon Man or Diablo. And then path 9, Skrull, really anyone. You could use Absorbing Man there as well. And then for Wong, you could just use S99 and hit into his block. Outside of that, you could use Rolk and just watch out for that unstoppable. So that does it for defense. Let's take a look at attack. All right, so War 2 is against LOXC. Light War for me, which is not a complaint. Today I'm taking in Nebula, White Magneto, and Proxima. I got Path 6 in Section 1 and Path 3 in Section 2. White Magneto is actually being brought for pre-fights, so no fights. And then Proxima is, even though she's rank 3, only being brought in for synergy. So, Immortal Abomination, I wanted to say infamous. Immortal Abomination here, taking it with Nebula. The only real concern here is aggressive prowess. Using Nebula, we're not going to want to block a lot, or just block. Even if I don't have Proxima here, I just wouldn't PS1. I would block bait heavies, and I'd retaliate every heavy and hit him at least as many times as he has prowess. But since we do have the synergy, it does mean that we can PS1 and not worry about getting to 20 charges as we get to Special 2. But you see here, it's actually a little more aggressive when attacking Immortal Abomination. So I end up with only 15. This doesn't quite do it, but I get some charges ready and ignore pushing to Special 2. Just transfer the charges and then combo him down. So that's pretty much the story for the rest of the war. Path 3 in Section 2. First node had a Warlock. It is actually a rank 5 Warlock. Now, I didn't think the Proxima synergy was that necessary, but it was definitely helpful, especially for this fight. It's not too big of a deal that Warlock doesn't start with his armor up in this fight. Especially since I'm pretty sure special attacks should not be glancing. But since I do notice that I don't actually get an infection before getting to Special 2, and I end up with enough charges, I do decide to go with Special 2. I had originally gone into this fight thinking I was going to Special 3, but instead I decide to Special 2 here, and I was actually infected. I did not notice that. So that explains why we didn't get the max conversion. We actually missed 8 shocks there. Whatever. So just going to go ahead and combo Warlock down the same way we did Immortal Abomination. Just making sure not to get hit with a big hit that triggers regen and therefore starts degenning us, making us use unnecessary potions, at least beyond the one we're going to have to use right after this fight. It's being stubborn here, and actually what's in the back of my mind at this moment is we need to get this last bit down so that I can get the next fight with the same PS1 boost. But you see, Nebula handles it pretty fine. I had originally planned on just going to Special 3, holding on to charges the entire time and just shocking him down on the back end of Special 3. And then Omega Sentinel, last fight of the war here. PS1 is barely running. So I heal up, take a look at it, see that I have 16 seconds, check the nodes like I normally do, just for the video's sake, and then hop right in. Even if this PS1 did not work, I would still have the same game plan, which is the block bait heavies build to my max 20 charges, parry into Special 2. So again, another nice thing of having the Proxima synergy is that I have 10 charges already, so -100, actually -200 ability accuracy for robots. So Omega Sentinel has 0 armor ups. Make a little room off that wall for a parry, convert, and we finish our war. So Very light war, again, not a complaint. We did the job we were assigned. Our battle group ended up dying less than theirs, 8-4. And then we ended up winning this war 18-7. So BG2 on both sides did not do that great, but we had a favorable matchup and we took advantage. So we're still right around our average. That's 4 and then 7. So we're in that 6 range that we had last season. So pretty good war for us. Not a bad start for the first 2. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit subscribe, give it a like, and I will catch you guys at the next war.